Hi, everybody. I'm Becky Singleton, and you're here on Happy, Healthy, and Fit today. We're going to talk about joy and what it means to bring joy into our life. So that's what we're going to do today here on Happy, Healthy, and Fit.
Can you show me the way? Can you show me the way? Can you show me, baby, can you show me the way? Show me the way. Can you show me the way? Can you show me, baby, can you show me the way?
Hi, everybody. It's Becky Singleton again. Welcome back to the channel. I really appreciate you so much. And if you could like, subscribe, and share, it really does help, believe it or not, other people to see me, the algorithms here on YouTube. So I appreciate that. We're going to talk about joy. I know the other episode I brought up joy, but we're going to talk in detail about joy. But before I do that, we've been working on our 30 days, right? Every morning for 30 days, I will intentionally intend. How are you doing with that? Are you intentionally intending that everything you do has an intention to it? Because that's very important for you to be successful for that day. So I hope that it's all going well with you and keep your intentions high, those high vibrations. So I was jotting down some notes about the path to joy and what it involves. So joy involves that, we monitor what it is that we give ourselves to, what we give our time to. That's how joy is dispersed for ourselves. So I wrote down about always doing things that accomplishes the greatest goal for yourself and for the people around you, and even could raise the vibration of the planet. So you believe it or not, when we do good things for our highest self or our greatest good, we do things that can affect other people. I know that recently many people have called me and thanked me for being super positive, and my message I give out are positive messages. And we live in a world where there's always, I rarely watch the news, but the time to time when it does come up, it's not pretty. And, how do you stay in joy when you have to hear, something happened that wasn't good? So I'm going to encourage you to do some of the things I wrote down. And one of the things I want to first have you do is ask yourself, what am I here to do that will bring me joy? What am I here to do that will bring me joy? Think about that for just a few minutes. I just want you to think about that. What are you here to do? There's something great. There's something that you love to do. You love to a certain hobby, or you want to do a certain type of work. There's something that you love to do. And if you love to do it, that's your pathway to joy. You have to know that we shouldn't just be doing things just for the sake of doing them. There has to be some joy involved. And I know that you remember this, do what you love and it will never feel like work. You've got to do the things that you love to do. That's the first way to get to joy, is making sure that you do that. And that you always make sure that you're not wasting your time in or giving your time away to people that don't deserve it. Keep the time and be very selective on how you use your time and how you use your energy. The other thing that I wanted to make sure I pointed out is that we often resist the things that we love. I don't know why we do that, right? We can't resist the things that we love. So if you love to do something in particular and you don't think you can either afford it, don't have the time, you have too many kids, you have a husband, you have a wife, no, you've got to carve out that time for yourself so that you can give yourself the joy you deserve. Joy is just a freebie once you know what to do, right? You know how to give it to yourself. So what could you do today that would bring you joy? what could you do today that would bring you some joy? Oftentimes, for me, I just work out every day, and to some people that's a chore. But for me, I can't get to the gym fast enough. Once I drop my daughter off at school, I'm off to the gym, and I love it. And I stay in my own little world. I'm not, I know a few people I wave and say hi, but it's my sanctuary. It's what I do that makes me happy. I'm not complete for myself for that day if I don't give myself that. And so that's part of my joy every day, is to work out. And it's something that I love so much that I spilled it over to being an instructor and teaching classes and speaking about health and wellness around the country to people who are desiring to better themselves. I had so much joy. I worked really hard all those years doing that, but it never felt like work. Never. And so I enjoy what I do now on the channel because it's another access way for me to do what I love and share knowledge and share growth, because we grow all the time. It doesn't matter how old we are. We're growing every day. So I want you to remember that. I want you to know you will always have joy when you focus on it and you settle for nothing less. Do not settle for anything less than the joy for yourself. You've got to do that, because we intend, we have good intentions, which we talked about here, 30 days of intending. You have to make that intention. When I do my I ams in the morning, I'm going to remind you that you do your I ams. I am joy. You can say, I want joy, or I desire joy, whatever makes sense for you. Bring that in through an I am. Things we do every day really matter. So we say it with a focus of being focused on joy and happiness. That's the way we're going to go, instead of paying attention to problems. I try my best. We all have problems, right? Things come up, situations come up that distract you and get you all worked up. And, I'm just as human as everybody else. And I've recently been going through certain things, and, I have to go back to what gives me joy. How can I overcome this situation? I don't stay in the problem. I don't stay there. I don't focus on it, because more of it would come if I keep focusing on the problem. So I really try to focus on, if I can't get myself to a joyful point about the situation, I think of things that make me happy and joyful. Like going to Hawaii, or, doing something that makes so much joy for me. Like I love to, play tennis or swim. If I just think about a moment when I was in that happy, peaceful state, it takes me in a better spot for myself. It helps me feel better. And it's all about feeling good all the time. You need to focus on the feel goods, okay, all the time. The other thing I want to talk about as I end this point of joy is you must have compassion, because that is caring for yourself. When you have compassion for yourself, you're valuing yourself, your time is valuable and you don't give it away, and you do not owe, let me just say this again. You do not owe anyone your time. You don't owe anyone your time. Your time is your time. And when you value your own time and what you love to do and where you're going with that, you kind of command that. You mirror that out to the world, and the world will respond. So please remember, it's all about really focusing on the self-love as always, but joy does promote you to be in the zone of self and to be happy and joyful. So I think that as we're leveling up each week on the show, and that's my intention, that we learn something new about being joyful this week. Let's take that to heart. To ask yourself those questions I just reminded you earlier is, what am I here to do that will bring me joy? And in a few weeks, we're going to talk about purpose and how do we get there? How do we know? And all of that. That's the first step. That is the first step. What am I here to do? Doesn't matter how old you are. You still have something to do. If you haven't done it yet, You need to learn what it is. So I'm going to help you get there by thought and feeling and really paying attention to what it is that joy will bring you. Okay? So again, remember your every morning doing our 30 days I will intentionally intend. And I am happiness. I am love. I am a lighthouse for others. I am abundant. I am prosperous. I give joy to all. I know that all is well. Remember that. All is well. Say that to yourself when you're having a hard time, when you're bringing back the joy in your life. All is well. I'm Becky Singleton, and I'm just like you.
Can you show me the way? Can you show me the way? Can you show me, baby, can you show me the way?